Hello, Jesus.
How you doing?
I'm just wondering, is it ever possible really for anyone to get through terror without God?
I don't believe it's possible
think
without
so.
God. However, there are many people who are in the sixth dimension of the spirit world who believe they have released most of their terror without God.
So that I was going to ask, can they actually, are they still in, like, do they have those fears in them?
Well, they have one primary fear still, which is a fear of having a relationship with God. So they still haven't released all their terror. But they've often released quite a lot because they realise sooner or later that they have to experience it in order to release it. So many people who are what you call the natural love path, many people who are on that path are actually releasing emotion by experiencing their emotion. They're just not doing it with God. They're not having a relationship with God that they're trying to develop during the process. They're not open to God's truth. But it is very hard.
So it takes much longer because I guess...
Of course. You imagine releasing your terror without having a backup person.
No.
You know, and I don't mean a backup person on earth, I mean God in that regard. It is difficult. It can be done because God created you to be able to release everything by yourself, actually.
So it's basically just not trusting in God that people don't want to go there. Because if they trusted, they would allow themselves to go to that past that limit.
I feel a lot of the problems are relating to the trust of themselves, that God created within them the ability to feel everything. Like if we truly trusted God, we would understand that one fact about ourselves, that God created us in such a way that we're capable of experiencing everything. And particularly, we are capable of experiencing everything that happened in our past. Does that make sense? Like it's already happened. We've already experienced it. So we're definitely capable of experiencing it. Does that make sense? And particularly as an adult, we're definitely capable of experiencing it, considering that a lot of it, the very negative things that happened to us, happened as a child. And so we're certainly capable as an adult to experience those things that we've happened as a child. The issue that most of us face is we don't want to. We don't want to feel a lot of these kind of feelings of being overwhelmed, feeling crazy, feeling stupid. Everyone around us telling us that we're nuts doing it and all those kind of things, that you've got to get control and you've got to get, rigid with yourself and you've got to move on and you've got to forget the past and all these kind of things, which you can't ever do unless you release the emotion. Because the emotional signature of the past will be carried with you wherever you go. Everywhere you go, you always take the weather. You know, that's true. You know, it's like everywhere you go, the internal weather system you're creating that you are not allowing change, you will take with you everywhere you go. You can change locations. So you can move from the sunny coast to here. Doesn't change a single thing. You know, you can move from here to the spirit world. Doesn't change anything. It's only when you realise you're taking the weather with you, and unless you face what the weather is inside of you, what you face, unless what is inside of you, you're willing to actually truthfully address and actually feel, and you realise that any progression can occur. So do it. Make the choice to do it. Now, many of us have a lot of spirit interference with making that choice. We have a lot of issues with making the choice personally. But the biggest issue that we really have most of the time is just we don't want to ever be overwhelmed.
And yet it's the best feeling afterwards.
Of course, because when you're overwhelmed, you release something and therefore there's a feeling of release. But it only happens when you're overwhelmed, generally. And for the majority of us, what we're trying to do is we're trying to feel our feelings and act and do our life in very strict borders. We are trying to do it within these borders. And it's only when we're willing to actually feel beyond those borders that we've created that we finish up changing. This is a big problem for us. Yeah?